Broadcasting live from the Botanical Plaza on the plain of Capenna. This is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome, everybody, to Tap Tap Concede. My name is Graham. Joining me is Cameron and Nelson.
Also here.
And James is here on tech.
Woo!
Woo! Woohoo! A couple of things to talk about this week. But before we do, we're going to remind you, of course, that this show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Check out cardkingdom.com/LRR for all of your cardboard paper magic needs. They'll ship you singles anywhere in the world. And they'll ship you a sealed product outside of standard, also anywhere in the world, and inside of standard, just in the U.S., because that's what Wizards lets them do. But they'll be very fast when they do it. And if you let them know that we sent you, Loading Ready Run sent me, button please, they'll give you a little 1-inch button. We're on to a new design now. In fact, we were last week. I didn't realize. It's a weird tap, but okay.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good button. Well done, whoever thought that out.
I'd forgotten about that one, yeah. That's a good one. And, of course, this show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. And we really appreciate it.
Did you know if you go to Card Kingdom and order singles, you can get whatever card you want? You don't have to just get a random assortment.
Yes.
Isn't that neat?
You can actually buy specific cards.
Like, you can choose the card that you want, and then you just get that one.
You can also actually, you know what I use Card Kingdom for the most is selling my singles.
Oh, yeah. It's important,
Oh, yeah,
too.
it's an underrated ability.
You can sell whichever cards you have.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have too many cards? They can handle that problem for you, too.
Yeah.
I derailed you. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I noticed you gave me a look when I said the plain of Capenna.
Yes, I did want to bring that back. Is that right?
Yeah, so you were off last week.
Yeah.
And we were talking about a little bit about the Planeswalker's Guide to New Capenna, which you should read if you have a chance. It's a long article on the Wizards homepage, just about a lot of lore and background information. And so New Capenna, where everything in the set takes place, is this like tower fortress on the plane that's like locked off from everything below it, which they refer to as Old Capenna. But the plane is Capenna.
Okay.
Strictly speaking. I guess you could call the plane New Capenna because everyone there thinks that that's all that there is, really.
Right.
But it's technically speaking, there's older Capenna off to the side. But it's pretty interesting.
Next time we come back, we'll get like a weird dungeon delving expansion.
That would be super cool. I would like to see what's
a little bit of
going
like,
on at the bottom of the elevators.
A little bit of like Earth Dawn, maybe,
Ooh,
if you've
yeah.
ever played Earth Dawn.
I was going to say, like, what's the Games Workshop franchise where you
Necromunda.
Thank you, yes. Necromunda World is the same setup where there's the elites, the 1%ers live at the top of the tower, and then everybody else, like, fighting over the scraps at the bottom. And so you have, like, a game mechanic where, like, I bought, like, ratlings. They're, like, sort of, I don't know, kind of tribal people.
Right,
with, like, whatever they can put together. But then the other side of the battle would be, like, just one kid with, like, a crazy mech suit. Because he's, like, super rich and his character's as powerful as 12 of mine. Right.
Yeah. The rich kids who are cosplaying as the Predator.
Yeah.
Speaking actually of lore and story stuff on the mothership, actually more to talk about later. But did you read the story, the random
the Elish Norn
Elish Norn story?
I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I was like, I should dedicate some time.
It's well, I won't spoil anything for you, but it gets pretty intense.
Cool.
Also, it's very interesting. I also, I don't think this spoils too much, but Kathleen actually, about almost exactly a month ago, because she was musing about different things, she tweeted, she's like, do Phyrexians dream? Can Phyrexians dream? And then when this story came out, she retweeted herself being like, well, that paid off quickly.
Right, because is this the one that Alison Lurs wrote?
No, this is a different one.
Oh, okay.
No, but we'll talk about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. She wrote the Dinobots story.
Yes, exactly. So, shoot, I should know the author for this other one, but I don't offhand. So I'm going to look that up while we talk about something else.
Also, pretty recently wrote like a cute, like I think it was a sort of a companion piece to the Secret Lair.
That's what Cam's talking about.
The ship
Dinobots.
is called Dinobots.
Oh, okay, I see.
Huatli and Saheeli.
Right. Yeah, that story. I was going to explain that for you. But right. Okay, so for those of you like me who didn't know what Dinobots meant, there's Saheeli Rai, planeswalker from Kaladesh that makes up the bot's half, and there's Huatli, who is surrounded by dinosaurs and brings dinosaurs with her, and they've kind of gotten together and, I don't know, fallen in love, or I'm not sure exactly what tagline they're putting on, but Allison wrote the like story of them kind of like meeting through like a message board. It's pretty cool, right? Like they had like there's a yeah. The story is like on a side of a building in like one of the precincts in Ravnica that you can only see if you're a planeswalker. There's like this message board for people who've like lost random stuff, or they're like willing to buy something. So then it's like someone wants to buy some raw copper, and so then. So, like, I think Saheeli wants to buy some raw copper, and then Huatli sees it, and she's like,
"Is it high quality copper?
Is it what?
Is it ingots of high quality copper?
Yeah, maybe
or fine copper.
What's that a joke about?
It's the world's oldest 1-star Yelp review.
Oh,
from
it's a cuneiform clay tablet.
Right. Oh yeah, the first piece of writing, or whatever.
Ian Nazir.
Right.
Ian Nazir. Yeah.
And apparently it's like writing this review of trying to buy fine ingots of fine copper and like getting low quality copper instead. And when he sent his messenger through enemy held terrain to lodge a complaint, Ian Nazir sent him away without honoring the contract.
Wow.
And apparently the reason why we have it is because Ian Nazir kept all his 1-star Yelp reviews basically in like his own file.
That's amazing.
Like these are my skins I'm proud of, or like these are my like deer heads or whatever that I've accumulated. Behold, look at my 1-star Yelp reviews from the idiots I've done business with.
Yes,
that's hilarious.
Yeah. Similarly, I want to mention that Kathleen, in reading that story, felt a tremendous sense of validation that now plot-relevant community message boards are canonical in Ravnica.
Yeah, that definitely felt like Allison was like, "Oh yeah, I would appear on by Law and Order if I had the chance."
Yeah, no,
right?
yeah. She and Allison had a very good exchange on Twitter. It was
nice.
It was great. This is like the first short story that Allison's written in like 5 years, and I'm just thrilled that everybody was like, it's like in the same breath, right? It's like Huatli and Saheeli confirmed. Also, new story about it by Allison. Like the people were like explicitly excited to see more stuff from Allison because she's great. Also very good. Laura Gray is the author of A Garden of Flesh, which is the one about Elish Norn that is freaky.
Neat.
You should definitely check it out. So I guess one of the things we want to touch a little bit more on Streets of New Capenna Limited and our struggles with it. But I guess first, since we've already started talking about it, let's talk about the new Secret Lair. So, stand by while I remind myself where that is. Here we go. Pride Across the Multiverse. So this is a Secret Lair that supports the Trevor Project, which is excellent, and it's a big good gay secret lair. A word from the art director. Pride Across the Multiverse is a celebration and reflection of how far we've come, what it took to get here, what still lies ahead. From the start, we wanted the Secret Lair to celebrate the LGBTQIA2S plus community's relentless creativity. There was no way this collection of 8 cards would represent every aspect of the community, but we wanted to honor the hope and joy found in our multifaceted identities. It is our hope that people find some part of their own unique selves reflected in these cards. It continues as well, but let's take a look at the cards. So we've got Alesha, who smiles at death. Excellent reprint of Alesha here. This is by Winona Nelson, I believe.
Yep,
did the art on
right.
this one? Yeah. Who mentioned on Twitter that she's Two-Spirit, which is how I found out that she's also Ojibwe.
Yeah, cool.
So that was cool. Yeah.
Alesha, the first canonically trans character from Magic, I think, right?
Yeah, and I like that this is an older Alesha helping out, like,
Yeah.
young, like, recruit or something. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, he was wearing a binder, right? Like trans eldership.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really important piece of representation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collective Voyage, which is a Kaladesh Pride Parade.
Right. We see Chandra. We don't see Nissa.
Is that not Nissa in the back?
Is it Nissa in the back?
I think
okay,
that
I'm
is.
sorry. I'm just too blind. All right. Well, they're not holding hands. Sorry.
No,
But okay, they're in the same art.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. No, that's still that is still confirmed.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Heartbeat of Spring, which is this is Dinobots. Very cool. Mana Confluence, which is kind of funny because it's like, wait a minute, orange, purple.
Yeah.
These are
Right.
not the colors of magic. Oh, it's the rainbow. Like I had a
Right.
moment where I was like briefly confused, and then I remembered what the point of this was, and was like, oh, I'm an idiot.
Purple mana is frequently,
Joked about.
well, it's black mana.
That's
is
true.
usually like, purple fire,
Right.
right?
So really, orange is the only thing here that's
There is
artifacts.
also right.
Yeah.
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 We'll say orange is like, the old border artifact.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, the patina.
Orange mana confirmed.
Purple has also been like confirmed as like the theoretical 6th color if ever there was one. This is like a really old mothership article,
Right.
But like that part of like R&D's day one time was like, okay, we got to like have an all hands meeting and hash this out. And Rosewater like gave us an article about it. It's like we heard arguments for orange. Briefly, we touched on like yellow or cyan or something, and then everyone was like, okay, it's really purple, right? Okay, confirmed. If there's ever a 6th color, which there won't be, it'll be purple.
Yeah.
Did they ever get into any more detail about like what its character would have been?
Not in that article, sorry.
I think they've got to figure out the colors they have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What does white do exactly? I like this one because
Kicks my ass and limited in the last 3 sets is what it does.
because like part of at least to my mind, like part of diversity and inclusivity is like recognizing that your view of the world won't be the same as everyone else's, right? So it's like you look at mana confluence and you're used to seeing with any rainbow land in Magic, it's like, okay, we've got all 5 colors of mana and they're swirling around or something, or they're represented in each corner. And it's like, well, hold on, like that's not how everybody is going to see things, right? Like your struggle is different from someone else's, and like this mana confluence represents like seeing a range of things
Right.
that isn't the range of things you were expecting,
A literal intersection.
right?
Yeah. I should say, like, these, this is personally for me, right? Like these are not for me, obviously, but I love them. It's I'm thrilled to be seeing all of this. Sol Ring, absolutely dense with references. There's a whole breakdown I've seen on the on the subreddit. I think the artist said that eventually they would post their own like canonical legend of everything that's being referenced on here. But there's the ring itself is a ring of eyes that have various identity flags in the sclera of the eyes. There's references in here to Stonewall, to particular authors, to like specific events or people relevant to the community. It's like I said, it's pretty amazing. It is thick with information. Triumphant Reckoning is the note here. Yes, it honors the community's hard-fought victories and the battles that are still to come. And it's just gorgeous art.
Yeah.
Really.
Great work. What set was this from? Does anyone remember? Like what?
Originally,
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a card that's fairly recent. Hasn't been a
this
ton
was
of
from
reprints,
Kamigawa.
right? Just Kamigawa.
Neon Dynasty.
just
I,
now. Okay,
okay.
I remember it because, as you mentioned, Cameron, getting beaten in limited. This dumpstered me in one game. It was my opponent was like, yes, I'll put. They just spent the whole game casting nothing but enchantments and artifacts and aggressively trading them off. And then we're like, cool, now they're all back in play. And I was like, oh, I've lost this game immediately.
Right.
I mean, it's 9 mana, but still.
One of those situations where you're playing against somebody and you're like, maybe they're not doing the math before they swing.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this seems like a weird attack. All right, I'll take it.
I'll take it. Right?
Yeah. And then you realize that, yeah, you're going to take it. And finally, and perhaps most notably, Bearscape.
Crowd goes wild.
I can't believe they did it. It's so good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Triumphant Reckoning is from Commander Legends.
Oh.
The card you're thinking of, I think, is only 7 mana, and doesn't bring back Planeswalkers.
Oh,
This is
You're
9
right.
mana.
You're
but
right.
Still, yeah, very similar effect. Yeah.
okay. My bad.
All good.
There. I guess it was.
And
it
yeah,
three-
great art.
Was it 3 white white. It was four.
It might have
white
been 4
pips.
white pips.
The Kamigawa
the
one?
same as Invoke Justice, but
All
then
right.
2 more mana.
My bad.
Maybe. Yeah.
Hold your comments, please. So yeah, Bearscape, which I got to say, also the original art for Bearscape is also very clever. It's just like it's a like just a mountain rolling hills vista with like lots of big signs hidden in the in the mountains and the trees and everything, and that's all very cool. This Bearscape is just it's an onsen episode with a bunch of large hairy dudes.
Yeah.
And it's pretty great. Also with one actual grizzly bear in the background.
And
there's
bears
2
in
cloud
the
bears.
clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's the
yeah.
nod to the
It's
original
maintaining
Bearscape.
the
Yeah.
But a friend of mine did the write up for what the art was supposed to look like. For
Oh,
this.
cool.
And she pointed out on Twitter that the blonde man on the left has top surgery scars.
Right. You can't. It's hard to see, but once you get your copy and up close, probably be a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some more trans representation here, and yeah, just a cozy time in a hot tub going on here.
Yeah. And I guess I guess we should mention that the reaction to the Secret Lair overall, and this card in particular, has, from my timeline at least, been very positive, and I think it has been majority positive. But boy, it's also been a real litmus test. This one in particular, Bearscape in particular, has made some people real mad, and with some just tremendously bad faith arguments.
Oh yeah.
And
that sounds like not my problem. Really.
Yeah. I don't want to just be like pretend like that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, that's fair.
But
right?
yeah,
If you log on to Twitter, you can catch some of the more like, kind of dark corners of conservative MTG showing their whole ass.
yeah. I wouldn't recommend it because it's like it's a waste of your time. But
It's happening though.
Yeah.
People are getting upset.
the other thing that came up from this, which I also just want to touch on briefly, is that so Wizards is only selling the Secret Lair, as they say. Not all of our products are available in all regions. That's which is true and has always been the case. But it's what happened was that like the Secret Lair, for example, is not available in South America, and neither was Allison's story about Saheeli and Huatli initially. It's now been unblocked, and the Secret Lair page for this has now been unblocked. It's just like you can't buy this, and people from Brazil are like, this is not a problem here. Like this would get like the Bearscape would get like maybe a rating of like 12. Like this is not like there is an assumption that Wizards is making a moral call that they think that this would not be received correctly or appropriately in certain regions, and that is why they have decided not to offer it there. And they posted a weird thread of sort of non-apologetic tweets that I think was trying to explain it in a way that didn't really come across very well. And I don't know, it's like it could have been one tweet. It didn't say a lot, but like I interpreted what they were trying to say is like, we're just not selling it there, but not for that reason. That it's like that they didn't want to get into it, but they're like, we aren't selling it in South America for some other, I don't know, industrial or supply chain or something reason. But they didn't say that. But they also didn't say that it was because of that they think that I don't know, that the public or government in some South American countries would object. I don't know. I'm having a difficult time understanding why it's not available, but I also don't think that it's because Wizards is making sweeping moral calls. I don't understand.
Yeah. Like,
We know that it's not available in South America. And we know that they're not going to tell us why.
Yeah.
And beyond that, we don't really know. The tweets don't really explain much, right? It could be just that, like, whoever the rep is in South America, or various reps with, like, there's a whole supply chain of command, right? Like, there's, Wizards is a big company, and they've got various people that need to communicate to get all these products out the door. And so somewhere along the chain, it might have been someone wanting to make a moral call or just not wanting to get into it. Maybe there's like one relationship or two relationships that resulted in like, oh, I don't want to have to ask this person if it's okay to sell this secret lair in their country or whatever. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
It could be any number of little things, and we just don't get to find out.
The thread itself says, selling and communicating a product globally with an age range of 13 plus comes with it a variety of regional challenges that we have to navigate anew whenever we try to do something different or special. Sometimes that means we don't quite get it right on the first pass and learn to adapt as quickly as we're able. We're proud of the Pride Across the Multiverse, the work that the artists, designers, and partners have done, and we want to share that joy as widely as possible. We also acknowledge the impact of our missteps on the LGBTQIA2S plus communities in these regions and beyond, and are taking active steps to address processes to prevent such issues in the future. Our goal is to share with as many fans as we can to celebrate the pride in our diversity, and are excited to celebrate this work with you. That didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
we're not going to tell you.
It's like, it's
why
not
you can't have.
Yeah, it's not available. There's a reason. You don't get to know the reason. Whoops.
Yeah.
Hopefully that reason won't be there next time.
Please keep buying our stuff.
And
yeah, it's like, we won't tell you why. Thumbs up. Right? It's like, I don't find that explanation terribly satisfying, and I don't think anyone can find that explanation terribly satisfying, because it's not an explanation.
Yeah.
So I've seen people online say that they're just going to give $50 to the Trevor Project, which, I mean, sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, you should just do that anyway.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are probably going to be like giving these away if you do like a donation or something, and obviously there's going to be secondary market ways to get these cards if you're in South America and want to get them. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying I'm doing it, but I wouldn't be surprised if like
there's like an exchange.
There'll be like probably some slightly better deal from some of the big retailers. I wouldn't be surprised, or some of the card sellers that have a big online presence do a lot of shipping.
Yeah, yeah. Like hopefully you will be able to get these cards if you want them, because I think they're cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also there's one more, right?
I did miss one. I'm so sorry.
One more card. Yeah, we didn't do the time walk.
Savor the moment.
Yeah.
This is the one. This card.
It wasn't. I missed it on my list. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Yes. I thought I was finishing up with Bearscape. My bad. This is Ral and Tomic's wedding. It's great. Kai is there. Mizzix is there.
Yeah. Mizzix is on the lower right.
Yeah. There's a Tesa is there on the right.
It's taking place maybe in the springtime, like after the fall colors.
We haven't seen Ravnica in spring yet.
Right, after the fall colors of Guilds of Ravnica. Yeah, this card's absolutely beautiful. It's the first reprint ever of this card.
When was it printed originally?
It's from Shadowmoor.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's a neat card. It actually,
very cheap time
blue, one colorless for take an extra turn, so only one extra blue pip on top of time walk, but you also have to pay your untap step. So it got used in standard a little bit next to the first planeswalkers like Jace Jace Bellerin and Garruk
Wildspeaker. You can use your planeswalker abilities.
Yeah, exactly. So you could still have, you got your regular draw step and you use Garruk mana.
Okay.
Because Garruk lets you cast spells. And then, eventually you let your opponent take a real turn, but like you've got Cryptic Command, you've got like you can make extra creatures. You can have Garruk mana and draw extra cards and stuff.
Yeah, blue has many ways of untapping things.
Yeah, and then I think it probably... I'm not sure. I haven't seen a recent Modern Taking Turns deck. Like, I don't think I've seen anyone playing Taking Turns since Modern Horizon 2 came out. But I think in the history of Modern Taking Turns decks, this has also been on there because of... it hits... all your extra draw step cards, your Howling Minds, and your Planeswalkers. So like it lets you rebuy those, even though it doesn't let you rebuy your mana.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a cool card, and obviously the art's fantastic. And I didn't even know Ral and Tomic were engaged. I thought they were just dating. So
I think it was established in the recent Ravnica set or the lore associated
together, right? Because
that they were
Tomic has
married.
the red banner. Or red, like handkerchief.
He's got a bit of Ral's, bit of Ral's outfit or something. Yeah,
he's
I
doing
don't-
the-
I
he's
thought
they were
doing
a
the
couple.
replicant equivalent
Yeah.
of like wearing boyfriend sweater.
Yeah, I thought
Right.
they already were married. Maybe not, but now they are.
Yeah. Fair
so
enough.
that's cool. So this is 8 cards, and I like this in contrast to other charitable secret lairs that they've done in the past, and we've harped on this a bit. These are regular priced for secret lairs. These are $40 for the 8 cards, or 50 for foil, and half of the money goes to the Trevor Project.
Thank you.
Rather than where it's like these are it's a more expensive secret lair, and we're giving the extra amount to the charity, and it's like, but you're then making the same amount of money. You're just charging us more and passing that money on.
Yeah. And
So this is nicer.
Yeah, I think we can also like point out that in most of these situations, this turns into a tax write-off for the company. Too,
Yeah,
because they're
it's one of those
hey,
things.
Look, we're donating millions of dollars to charity, therefore that's non-taxable.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean, like, it's like when you go to Tim Hortons and they ask you if you want to support a charity with like a $2 charge on your bagel.
Yeah, I'm not interested in giving Tim Hortons $2 to put into a giant pot that lets them get a tax write-off when I could just give it to charity.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's something to be aware of.
Yeah.
Like, I think the cards are cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy enough to engage in commerce for these cards that I like.
Yeah.
As far as secret lairs go, it's a pretty good deal. Like if you're just just looking at the
8 cards,
brass
yeah.
tacks.
Oh, I
had 8 really good cards.
I
too.
didn't
Like,
even
you get a mana
think.
confluence.
I didn't
You
even
get a
think of looking at the
soul ring.
actual like
Yeah.
potential value of this.
No, the big news clearly is like how sweet is this Pride secret layer, and how great is this art, and how great is this representation. But if you want to get down into the like
let's do
secondary
that.
market,
What,
okay,
Soul
so
Ring?
Bearscape's usually only $1 or something.
Okay,
Like, that's
fair
not a big
enough.
deal. Mana Confluence is heavily played, has had some reprints, so its price over the years has ranged between like $5 and $30. I don't actually know what Mana Confluence
Well,
costs
like,
right now, but
Mana
I play
Confluence
it
is
in
that-
decks, so
I think it was Carmen Handy who tweeted out the image of the guy who's slapping the patch onto the giant reservoir of water, where it's just like mana problems in modern, Mana Confluence.
yeah.
Mana Confluence is currently going like either the Journey to Nyx or Commander Legends versions are going for $42. So
42?
That's the lair.
Wild.
That's the lair just paid for itself right there.
Yeah, so then you also got Soul Ring, obviously, like has had lots of prices, but is usually worth at least $5 to any Commander player. And Save the Moment, because never been reprinted and some modern demand,
It's like $14.
is $14 or $15. Yeah, exactly. Collective Voyage, also like people play it. I don't know that it's $10, but it's
Bearscape's
more than
like
$1.
$4.50.
$4.50 for Bearscape, really?
I-
That's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's your fault, Graham. Way to go. You
I feel
spiked the
partially-
price on Bearscape.
I feel partially responsible.
$4.50. I'm sorry. I've only ever sold it for $1, but it's been a while. Clearly, you must have bought us out. That's hilarious. And then those are the ones I remember. There's 1 or 2 more cards. Alesha is pretty cheap.
Collective Voyage is $5 or $6.
Yeah, I don't know that Alesha is more than 2.
No, that's
Fate Reforged was a
Yeah, heavily
Like-
open set.
yeah.
like a quarter.
We
yeah.
opened it.
Yeah.
I've been trying to make Alesha work in Highlander forever, and I think she's just a little slow.
Yeah, Alesha's she's one of those cards that got printed like right before kind of like 2020. Like a ways before, but like in terms of like the way like Magic Design and the power kind of
Yeah.
grind was happening. It was like when she came out, it was sort of like, sweet, yeah, this is like a lot
It's
of
a good
abilities
effect,
and body,
yeah.
and like the stats are good. And then you like a few years later, you see Questing Beast, and you're like, wait,
Yeah. Or Luris.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Najila the Blade Blossom, like same mana cost for just more power with less mana.
And the other cards are a couple bucks
Yeah.
here or there.
But yeah, I mean a Soul Ring and a Mana Confluence and
Yeah.
a Savor the Moment. It's like double your money right there or something.
Yeah.
And I think we can also, hopefully, this seems like the kind of thing where there would be a stealth token included.
There's got to be.
They usually are giving you one more thing in every secret layer. Still,
Gotta.
right? I think so.
Got to do the bear token.
Yeah.
Right?
You gotta.
That'd
Come
be
on.
fantastic. Just Torbrand with no shirt.
There should be like 5 of them. Seriously, it's like one of the earliest secret lairs was the Bitter Blossom, and the entire lair was just Bitter Blossom and 4 tokens.
Yeah. Yeah. I got that one.
Yeah, me too.
Sweet.
So who am I to judge? But
Who am I?
there should definitely be like a whole. I don't know what the collective noun is.
Oh yeah, James.
I guess a force of bears.
What's a group of
Yes,
bears
a
called?
force of
family?
bears.
No.
What's the actual collective noun for like real like signs?
What are you doing back
Is
there?
it
If
a
not,
pack?
just like on Wikipedia, googling random stuff. Are you punching a chunk right now?
A sloth of bears?
No, really?
What?
They're very industrious animals.
I hope someone watching this
Or a
lives,
sleuth?
lives in a sloth of bears, and that just now is learning
A
that
sleuth
that's what they can call
or
their house.
sloth?
That's incredible.
A sleuth of bears. What?
How do you spell it?
S like sleuth, like a
Okay.
Huh.
SLEUTH or SLOTH.
Huh. Well, I mean, that lacks some of the grace of a charm of hummingbirds,
Yes.
which is my personal
But you know
favorite.
what? Maybe that's
my favorite's a parliament of owls.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good too. Parliament is a very fun word.
Yeah. All right.
So it's a good secret lair.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's great. And just because there are dudes in a hot spring doesn't mean it's sexualized. That's the crux of that conversation. It's not a sexualized moment on this card. They're just hanging out. And it's great. It's a great art. I love that there's just a single like grizzly bear sitting in the back, just like just chilling. Not everyone's in their lane.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
dig it.
everyone clearly has enough space to breathe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, it's good. So
You know what's not been so good?
New Capenna Limited.
My record in New Capenna Limited.
Yeah. Man, this is a toughie. This is a hard nut to crack, this format.
Yeah, I've been having reasonable success in sealed. Like I went,
Yeah.
I think I went 7-1 with my first sealed pool.
Damn.
and
Sweet.
then 6-2.
I don't think I've got 7 wins of anything in this format yet.
The trick is to open 4 murders and then a bunch of fixing, and then you
Oh.
just play all your bombs and murders.
I'm Cameron. I opened murder in a
Yeah.
sealed pool.
Well, I
this is
remember.
we were talking about this
Yeah.
before we started recording. Murder is a common, supposedly,
Yeah, are we sure?
and I have not opened one in sealed. Mm-hmm. I have yet to open a single copy of Murder in a sealed pool.
Oh, you should try. It's really good. There's a lot of removal going around in other people's decks in sealed.
Yeah.
Because there's murder, there's whack, there is
What was that?
Whack.
Okay, cool.
There's the one that gives -3/-3 and mills 3 cards. Or draws your opponent 3 cards.
Deal
I
gone
guess.
bad. Yeah.
Deal gone bad.
You should mill yourself.
Yeah, mill yourself, kids.
Yeah. Mill yourself. There's the shock, which is not great. There's the thing that
Strangle's good.
strangles good.
There's a lot of good removal in this set. Mm-hmm. Did you play the midweek Magic free bot draft?
I did not.
Oh, you should, because it was free.
It's over now. Yeah.
It's gone now, but it was just a free quick draft. You only got to you could play it as many times as you wanted. You could do it. You could draft it once and then play your deck as many times as you wanted. If you got 3 wins, then you got like a random arena cosmetic.
Oh, is this the train the bots event?
I hope so, because let me tell you what the bots don't pick: murder.
So you got to draft lots of murders?
I had 3, and they came around late. Anyway, that deck was fun, but actual like regular drafts, I don't know. It's been tricky, and I mentioned this last week. I've been watching Kenji draft, and he's been like really banging his head against this one. Of course, he's like, my win rate is only 60%, and I'm like, all right, okay.
Is this the PPR curse, maybe?
It's just it's a I don't know what it is. Like, he seems to have found the most success with like aiming for a 2-color deck, and then you sort of splash a bit into a third at most, right? Mm-hmm. Rather than just being like fully Grixis or fully Naya, that it's like red-black with maybe a bit of blue, or green-white with a touch of red. Like just green-white with Rocco. Rocco's the bonkers card. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong, because if I did, I would fix it.
Yeah, my big problem seems to be failing to draw my fourth land and then dying instantly. Because if you wind up a turn behind in this format, it's hard to claw back.
People can curve out very aggressive boards in
because
this.
I've done the play where you play the Raccoon Citizen on one, the
Gets double
Cabaret.
strike? Yeah. Pay for double strike?
Yeah, pay for double strike. Then the 2-drop other citizen, the one that gets +1/+1 when a creature enters the battlefield.
Yeah, the cat.
Or the one that taps another citizen to get lifelink and +1/+0.
Civil Servant is great.
Yeah.
I don't think the
into, like, a
Cabaret
third-
Initiate's that amazing, but Civil Servant's great.
Yeah, into a third citizen. And like once you've got Civil Servant down, and then you can start like playing citizens into them to tap to give them lifelink, that's a hard curve to contend with.
Yeah.
I found myself without a murder when my opponent just played turn 2. There's a 3/2 that comes into play tapped.
Mm-hmm.
And then turn 3, there's a blue aura at uncommon that gives unblockable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beating.
And-
security bypass.
But then the security bypass also like pumps the creature.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whenever it
it
hits, it
connives.
connives.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're under this harsh like unblockable juggernaut clock. Like it's like a 4-turn clock because it gets bigger every turn.
Yeah.
So if you
and draws cards.
Yeah, and it loots like, it might give something that saves the creature too. Like you might loot into a cancel when they do have a murder. So I lost that game.
Yeah, security bypass is. I assume that security bypass is in the set because murder is in the set.
Sure,
Right.
there ought to be something good for murder to do.
Yeah, but yeah, if you let a security bypass go unanswered for a couple of turns, you can be in deep trouble.
I've lost a game to Rafine's Informant.
Sure.
Right? It's the two mana 2/1 that connives. And so they did it and they connived and it was a 3/2. And then they started playing scarier creatures and I was removing the scarier creatures and trading off and getting in and fighting, and the entire time Rafine's Informant was just like, but I'm hitting you for 3. And then they gave it the gilded pinions and made it fly, and it's like, and they're playing scarier creatures that I have to deal with. And I'm like, okay, I'll, Rafine's Informant, whatever. It's just a 3/2. And then, and suddenly I'm at like 4 life. And I'm like, what just happened? It's the only thing that's hit me this game.
Yeah. Like I have definitely had a similar experience where I've, let something through for a couple of turns and then looked at my life total and seen it's 7
Yeah.
and realized, oh, I'm dead on board and it's turn 5.
You don't notice the damage you take from blitz creatures, right? It's like, oh, they had a Girder Goons, and now it's just a zombie token or whatever. It's just a 2/2 rogue. But like, I took 7 that turn. Like I took 8 that turn. You know, I can't just keep getting blitzed all the time.
They
Although-
can't keep getting away with it.
I have to say the miscalculate in this
Okay.
format, the 2 mana
They pay 2.
yeah.
Counter unless they pay 2. Yeah.
counter unless they pay 2, clawing back the strategic initiative in the game
Make disappear. That's
with a make disappear. Oh, that's a good feeling. When you just ruin somebody's life.
Which card were you talking about?
Oh, when you counter
Yeah.
something with make.
Oh, I
disappear.
thought you were talking about a specific. I thought you
No,
were talking
it's
about
a
countering
miscalculate
specific card.
effect. Sorry.
Right.
It feels like actual counterspell feels not actual counterspell. Countering a spell feels really good in a very tempo-heavy format because your opponent will almost always be like desperate to use up all their mana.
Yeah, the difference between 2 and 3 is so huge because of all the like 3-color pip powerful uncommons that people are kind of relying on, or they might get to expect. But if they have a response that disrupts you for only 2 mana, it's a big deal. I thought I was pretty clever for trying to put together in Midweek Magic. I had 2 Jetmir's Fixers and 2 Sticky Fingers.
Ooh.
But I just ran into various other good, solid 2-color strategies with like the occasional
Right.
third. But Sticky Fingers has still been pretty solid.
Yeah, Sticky Fingers reminder, this is a single red mana for a creature enchantment. The creature has menace, and then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you make a treasure token. Also, when the creature dies, you draw a card. So unless they kill the creature in response to you casting Sticky Fingers, you're at least going to get a card back out of it, which is nice. It really takes the edge off the creature enchantment. But yeah, no, Sticky Fingers can do some powerful stuff.
Speaking of sticky fingers, my son probably has some, and I've got to go pick him up from school.
Oh.
Yeah. Do
All
you guys
right.
want to keep going? Or
No, it's
are you
okay.
still chatting?
Yeah, I think we're good to.
Yeah, I don't, because I was thinking, I was like, what value can we provide in this moment?
We want to sympathize with you if you're losing in Streets of New Capenna.
Yeah, I
Limited.
think that's about
You're
all we can
also
do.
getting crushed a bunch.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't have any advice for you.
You know-
but if you're getting rolled in Streets of New Capenna Limited, we are too. And if you if you have any good tips, let us know.
I recommend opening the blue mythic flyer that draws cards.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
the
debuff-
weird avatar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing seems
Dr.
Yeah, the
nuts.
thing that
Manhattan.
T poses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That card's been really good. So if you open that, I'd recommend taking it.
Writes down open mythics.
Honestly,
Yes.
if Kenji is sort of in the same boat where and I've seen a lot of people on my Twitter
Yeah.
timeline complaining that this format's bad or that they're losing at it or whatever. It's like the good news is if the set's really wordy and hard to figure out what the better strategies are, it does mean that we've got a long time to enjoy the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Which, especially since sometimes before pre-release is over, you've got people saying such and such needs to be banned in standard and this is the tier list and it's locked
Yeah.
in for picking in limited. It's nice to have that kind of refreshing.
That definitely has not
How
happened.
does this format work? It's 2 weeks. We don't know.
Also, to be completely sincere, I am never passing a Jaxus in my life.
Yeah.
Sure. That card seems nuts.
Yeah.
That card is. Oh, there's so many enter the battlefield effects, and the copy draws a card when it dies, and it still draws a card if it dies before end of turn.
It's very cool.
It's a cool card.
She's in my Gladiator deck.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But even copying an Angelic Overseer
Mm-hmm.
feels great. Copying a Lagrella.
Oh.
Let me tell you, copying a Lagrella, we need a ship name for Jaxus and Lagrella.
Ah.
Because I'm just like, no, kiss.
There you go. Work on that.
Yeah.
Actually, while you're working on ship names, think also of some nicknames because the Streets of New Capenna Nicknames website is now open. Sorry, I just whacked myself. Pardon me. It's lrr.cc/nicknames, and it's open now, so you can get your nickname suggestions in for Streets of New Capenna, and then we'll be doing the nicknames episode within a few weeks. And so even if you don't have any suggestions, head over there, read the ones that are there, give them some votes, and just vote for the ones that you think are the funniest and the best, and then we will read those out in a couple weeks' time. But yeah, that's going to do it for this week. A reminder that the show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Please check out cardkingdom.com/LRR. Ask them for a button. You'll get weird tap, but okay. And of course, the show is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Until then, I've been Graham, joined by Cameron and Nelson,
Also here.
and James. Bye. Heather gets these online. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.